So at this point in our Andaman Sea adventure, I had landed a barracuda, Gregory a beautiful sailfish, and Greg was now on deck. He was in that fighting chair, completely focused and ready to fight our next sailfish. But it wasn't going to happen that day. As the sun set across the Andaman Sea, it was time to head to Phi Phi Island, where we planned to stay the night. This island was basically two massive limestone outcroppings, hundreds of feet high. They towered out of the sea with a strip of white beach between them. It wouldn't be until the next morning that we'd actually see Phi Phi, because when we entered the harbor that night, it was complete darkness. While Greg and I went for a swim in the dark water, Adun got busy preparing our dinner.
Well, I tell you, the crew, the two on the boat was great. I know that Mike was watching it because the two was right then giving us beers whenever we needed. Mike's looking at it and saying, now that's what a crew's supposed to do. Make sure the skipper is hydrated all the time. You know, they brought us the fruit, he cooked. We had these awesome breakfasts in the morning. They cooked a great lunch for us, dinners for us. The tuna, we caught a lot of tuna. They brought it in, made fresh sashimi with wasabi, soy sauce. And nothing better than a fish that's been in the water 10 minutes before, and it's a big plate of sashimi in front of us. It was some good eating.
The next morning, we got our first look at Phi Phi Island.
Here we are, it's day 2. We're on the hook at Phi Phi Islands. We spent the night here. We got a good day of fishing in yesterday. We pulled in a barracuda. I got to land that. Wasn't too terribly exciting, but we did land a sailfish. Gregory was on point for that, did an awesome job. So we have one sailfish in the boat. We had a great night last night, although I hear that I snore a little bit. I'm not sure it's true, but some of the crew have remarked upon that this morning.
Sleeping on the boat, that was another adventure that we went through. So we're in the forward V berth, the three of us, Gregory, Mike, and I. Gregory took the top bunk. Mike and I were feet to feet in the V berth. It didn't take but 5 minutes, and then it started. It was like the loudest noise of snoring I've ever heard in my life. And it got to the point where it was hilarious. Sitting there, every now and then I would just kind of kick Mike in the leg. He would stop and I would just pray, just give me 10 seconds, please, 10 seconds so I can fall asleep. Nope, it wasn't to be. I just laid there and just sat back and was enjoying it. At least somebody was getting a good night's sleep. I knew it wasn't me, it was Mike.
Before pulling out, Greg and Gregory went for a morning swim. I'll tell you what, after seeing the snakes in the water the night before, there was no way in hell I was getting back in that water. We were on our first troll of the day, and Greg was up first.
Dorado. Yeah, Dorado. Tuna? Dorado más. Two of them? A double. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Baby center. Yeah.
We were hoping for some wahoo that morning, but we ended up hooking about a dozen small tuna. I'll tell you, I would have rather had a strong wahoo bite, but the upside was that we were catching a lot of fresh bait for the afternoon sailfish bite.
Hooked up on the reel hook.
After our morning tuna catch fest, it was finally time to go hunt sailfish.
About 11 o'clock off the bow, we saw sailfish jumping, probably made about 7 or 8 jumps out of the water, completely out of the water. Great sight. Now we're going over to go get it.
We saw a lot of jumpers, but we couldn't buy a hookup. Finally, it was time to return to Chalong Bay. We ended this adventure with a beautiful sail, a couple barracuda, dozens of small tuna, and I'll tell you, one of the most exotic fishing adventures of my life. For San Juan Sportsman in Phuket, Thailand, I'm your host, Mike Sims, saying, Khop Khun Krat. For joining me on this adventure, I'll be seeing you on the water, in the field, or on the range.
John, that's the end of it, mate. Thank you for a spectacular 2 days. You and the Wahoo team are truly world class.
Let's do it again, huh?
We'll do it
next
again.
year. Good.
San Juan Sportsman.